All right, mate, how you doing? Welcome back to another video. I am joined with my brother Seb. He's here, which can only mean one thing. It's time to talk about Fantasy Premier League. It's that time of year.
It's all I'm good for. So you can't.
It's pretty much. It's not all you're good for, but you are good for it. I will give you that.
Debatable.
It is the Premier League's about to start. It is the dawn of a new season. So we don't do lots of these videos, but when we do them, we like to do them. And before we get into my team, what this video is going to be. As you guys know, I consider myself more of a hobby FPL player. I spend very little time on it, and I think that makes me represent the masses. However, some people take it a bit more seriously. They might listen to some expert YouTube channels, some podcasts, whatever. There's a lot out there that know much more than me. Seb, I would say, is one of these people that gets involved in it to that degree.
Obsessed.
So all I like him to do is I like talking through my team that took me literally 10 minutes to make. I made it on the train today. I haven't heard any intel from anyone else in the world about FPL this season. Just use my own noggin. Seb's going to tell me why I'm wrong and why there's other players that I should have considered.
Hey, listen, you had an all right year last year, so you might be doing all right.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Well, I think you were.
I wasn't going to mention it
before you did.
No, honestly.
Look, what I'll say is
that
your knowledge of football is significantly greater than mine, especially these days. But my knowledge of the intricacy of the game is better. And we did this video last year, and I ripped your team to shreds. But you didn't end up with that team. You then, I think, once you started to get it, it is a concern for your knowledge of the game. Is when you combine that with FPL knowledge, you will be a force. But last year, I feel there was you beat me, but you know.
But listen, let's just take it back a bit, right? First of all, I have always said to you that with the day I take FPL seriously, I'll be a problem for you. I have always said that, right?
Agreed.
But I still don't consider myself someone that takes it seriously, okay?
No.
Let's just look at it. So the reality is, I'm in multiple leagues, you're in a lot of leagues, but there's a league we're in with a load of your mates that is
the Mick McCarthy Invitational.
The Mick McCarthy Invitational.
The MMI.
Like, there's bragging rights on the line. It's the one I take most seriously. It's the one I look at and I see where I am. Not just because Seb's in it, but the boys in it. We've got a WhatsApp group. You know, there's a lot of banter that goes back and forth.
Yes.
So I won that last year, very happy with that. But I won it. I think I'd probably be fair to say I won it with a rank that might not have won me in other years.
I mean, last year was a very interesting year in FPL. It was World Cup year. There was a huge amount of double game week, triple game weeks, and there's quite a strong template. But you made some great shouts. You got on the Miggy Almiron hype early doors. You saw that coming for any of us. So you did that. You backed Kane from the early doors. That was a big one for you.
Saliba early doors.
You backed Saliba early doors. You made a couple of big calls that I've got to tip my hat to you that I'm not wearing, and you did really well.
Sometimes you've got to follow your instincts.
It was one of my worst years in a long, long time, and I'm not going to lie, it hurt.
Yeah, I know it did hurt. I mean, you got to follow your instincts sometimes. Almiron looks just like a lad I went to school with, so that's basically
why he's in the team.
There is a few other reasons, but that is largely up there. So I finished 55,000 almost exactly in the world, 55,066. At one point, I think I was just inside the top 10,000.
Oh, you definitely were. Yeah.
Quite a few weeks around like the 12, 15,000 mark. Finished 55,000.
You're talking about 11 million players.
Yeah.
So that's like 0.1%.
It's a good ranking, right?
Up there. I think that's the right math.
Can I do better than that this year? Maybe, because actually I've only got on this account, because I think these are only really the last 3 years I've properly played it. I've played little bits before, but last 3 years on FPL for me, I can see it in front of me right now. 2021, I finished just inside the top million. So maybe around the 10%, or maybe because it probably wasn't.
There would have been about 5 million.
Yes, maybe 20%. Just under 1,986,000. The year after that, 396,000. So I improved by 600,000. So that's like a third of where I finished the first time. So that's big improvement. Then I've gone from 396,000 to 55,000. Yep. So on that maths, I should be inside the top 10,000.
You're going to win it this year.
I might win it.
You could win it.
I won't win it. I'll tell you why I won't win it. Because even last year, finishing 55,000, I missed 3 game weeks, one of which was a double game week.
Yeah, but you know, in one of the weeks you missed, your score got better than if you'd made the changes you'd like to have made.
Not the double game week, it didn't.
No, probably not the
double game week killed me for sure. I think I would have maybe been, and that was a lot of points. I think I'm not saying as an excuse, because that is kind of like completely interlinked with the way I play the game. Like I almost allow for a few missed game weeks, which I know is like sacrilege to you, but for me it does happen. And if I can get better than 55,000, I'll take that right now.
We'll see. The one thing I'm holding on to, if I can hold on to something, is I want to have the highest ever rank out of both of us.
What is your best ever rank?
My best ever rank is 5k.
Wow, 5, yeah. I mean,
so that's what you're coming for.
That's what
that was the year before last.
So to be the real champion, that's what I've got to do.
It's the real champion.
Okay,
we're covering that.
I use that line a lot. If you beat me at table tennis once, you have to beat me twice in a row to be the real champion.
Yep.
Anyway, So what I'm going to do, Sebi, I'm going to talk you
I
through
want to
my
see this
team.
team. Give me this team.
Okay, so like I
I
say,
wanna
it took
rip
me
it to
10
shreds.
minutes to do on the train. I'm sure there's some thinking that I've ignored and some clever players I haven't gone with, but I've spent all my money. I've got no money spare currently.
Fine. Interesting.
2 goalkeepers, a 5
that's-
million goalkeeper and a 4 million goalkeeper.
Okay.
Those goalkeepers are Onana
Yeah.
from Man United.
And let me guess. Areola?
Correct. Is that very cliche?
Exact same as mine.
Okay, well, there you go.
Good start.
Areola may not play, or Fabianski's getting a year older, but most of 4 million goalkeepers aren't going to play, and Onana will play. And Man United, in my thinking at least, generally under Ten Hag have been fairly
Well,
solid.
he's
at the
one
back.
of the cheapest routes into the Man United defence that you know is going to play. Luke Shaw's $500,000 more. Also, Luke Shaw for me was in some of my early drafts. He's probably going to share set pieces now. Bruno's still taking a few. Mount's going to probably take a few. For bonus, Luke Shaw is always very good because he completes a lot of successful passes. Onana's known for his distribution, so he's also going to nick some bonus. So getting a Man United defender for $500,000 less, Onana for me is a very popular pick.
Okay, so you're approved. Obviously, you're approved because you've gone the same
The only
two.
other thing I'll say is the options are there's a few 4.5 million keepers that are interesting. So because Raya's left or leaving, Flecken, although he's had a shocking pre-season, is 4.5. So Brentford goalkeeper, amazing fixtures for 4.5. Pickford's 4.5. Not a great team, but good fixtures. Johnston at Palace, 4.5. There's a couple of options. If you do need $500,000, you can nick that easy.
Interesting.
But I'm with you at the moment. I'm Onana and Areola as well.
It's worth saying at this point, these teams are subject to change. Terms and conditions apply. We will probably change the teams a fair bit before the actual season starts. There could still be transfers. We're recording this on the evening of Tuesday, the 8th of August. You're probably watching this Thursday or Friday, based on how long it takes Lewis to edit it. Thanks, Lewis. We appreciate you.
Lewis, beat him. Get this up Wednesday afternoon.
Well, I've just done a Premier League predictions for him as well, which is already on the channel. So he's been busy. Make sure you watch that one as well. Right, into the defence.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a couple of people that I had a lot of last year in there.
Okay.
Most expensive defender I have is 5.5 million. That is Luke Shaw, who you mentioned already.
So you got double Man United defence.
Double Man United defence, Luke Shaw at 5.5. Then I have 2 players at 5 million who go by the name of Estupinian from Brighton.
Let me guess.
Saliba, yeah.
Good boy.
So you could have gone with Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Obviously Saliba, based on last year, maybe comes with more injury chance. But I think actually Saliba is better than Gabriel. And I think if they play the same amount of minutes, he'll get more points. It's just a case of whether they do. Maybe I'm a bit biased because he niced me last year.
You've got to have a few romantic picks. You've got
Yeah.
to have a few love affairs like that. I think it's important.
What's that? Is your watch
My watch is telling me I'm starting running. My heart rate must be going through the roof.
Is it because I picked Saliba?
Yeah.
He's picked him again. Get your heart rate down, Sebi. All right, so those are 2 5 million boys. Then at 4.5, I've got Sven Botman and Newcastle.
Okay.
And then at 4 mil, Bell from Luton, just a cheap lad. Don't expect him to play for me.
Okay. So I like the 4 million Bell, although I'd change him if I were you to either Baldock or I think it's called Kabore with a K.
Okay.
Basically, he's pretty now because there's some injuries at fullback and he's very attacking. So he's the one I would suggest just improving your 4. But it doesn't matter. He's not going to play. Not going to play.
No, exactly.
The only thing about Luton is they blank in game week 2 because their stadium's not ready.
They blank or they not just play away?
No, they're blank in game week 2.
Well, that's very good intel that I didn't know.
But that means they'll have a double coming up.
Mm.
So if you don't need
Bell
this
could
bench
come
player,
in for that.
there you go.
This is great intel.
That's what I'm here for, mate.
So Bell is 14% of players as we speak have got him. 10.3% have got Baldock.
Baldock's
So
popular.
Those both look quite popular.
Your 4.5.
Baldock's brother used to play for West Ham. If you
Your
remember back in the day.
4.5 in Botman is interesting.
Also, an ex-hashtag players get very good friends with Baldock. Do you know that?
Phil Martin.
Phil Martin is friends with him.
Your 4.5 Botman is the first 4.5 I originally went for. Then Newcastle fixture just not great.
Yes.
4.5 options. What you want to think about in this position is when are they going to play? When are you going to bring them in? Newcastle haven't got any mini fixtures. You're going to want to play him over your other guys, which are Shaw, Estupinian and Saliba. But Estupinian's fixtures are a bit tougher in 4 and 5. So you want your 4.5 to be someone that can come in for them games. Brentford have got a very nice fixture, I think, in game week 4. So Rico Henry's one I like for a 4.5.
Slight injury issue at the moment.
Yeah, but I think you don't need him until game week 4.
True.
So no issue.
I just thought 4.5 is such a cheap entry into Newcastle's team.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Botman's just probably going to get you 6 or none, though, isn't he? He's not going to do a lot. The other one is Colwill, Chelsea.
Yes.
Pretty
Well,
nailed.
I mean, does he definitely
4.5.
start?
He's going to start of the season, I think, yes.
Got number 26,
He's
John
gonna
Terry's
start.
number.
So I think he's an interesting one, but again, not a huge amount of attacking threat, but
Is he 4.5, is he?
4.5 into the Chelsea defence. The only other one I would probably change for you is I would just do Luke Shaw to Chilwell because
Chilwell just gets injured too much for me.
Yeah, but he's not injured now and he's very attacking and Chelsea's fixtures after game week 3 are just ridiculous. So Chilwell for me is in my team. He might not start. He might be on might be my first bench. And then when game week 3 does, you're a transfer ahead of the game.
Interesting. Good intel. Thank you very much. Right, let's move into midfield. Now,
You could also have got John Stones playing in midfield for the same money as Luke Shaw.
yeah, but what's he going to do in there?
Well, get clean sheets from Man City when you've already got Man United goalkeeper.
Does it? I actually really do shy away from City players. I did last year exclusively with
Yeah,
the
it's annoying.
obvious
They can't
exception.
get rotated. It's too
They
annoying.
just changed a lot. But I do think John Stones, with the Gvardiol coming in, that him and Diaz are surely going to play. So then you've got probably a Kanji, as your third defender with either John Stones as a right back, but really a midfielder, or John Stones as an actual midfielder.
Yeah.
And Kyle Walker in there, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. With City, I like to see what they do.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So that's my defence. Moving into midfield, there is no high expenditure player, which means no Salah.
I'm gonna predict one player I think you've got.
I've got no Salah. I've got no De Bruyne, first and foremost. Is that common this year, you think?
Yeah, I mean they're expensive. De Bruyne's not really been fit.
I think you'll get 4 of my 5.
You're gonna have Rashford and Saka.
Correct.
I think you might have Eze.
No.
Okay. You will have. I mean, a lot of people. Oh, go on, you do your team.
Okay, fine. So in terms of expense, Rashford is the most expensive one, 9 million in there.
Saka 8.5.
And I think Rashford.
You've probably got Martinelli as well, have you?
If he, I haven't.
Odegaard's your little boy.
I've got Odegaard. I like him. He's my little boy. Apparently, my little boy. Listen, he's decent. We all know that.
Him and Saliba.
Rashford. I think if he can capture the form of last year, he's got better players around him now. With obviously the new striker. Højlund, you've also got Mount. We need to see how that works for United, the Mount thing. But Rashford for 9 mil is probably worth it for me. Saka at 8.5. I think it was 8 this time last year.
Yeah.
Gone up half a mil. But what a player. He's just so reliable.
He's the one attacker in the Arsenal team you know is going to play.
Yeah.
Like even Odegaard's not 100% sure, but you think he probably will.
No, he's captain.
Odegaard's probably the second most likely to play, I think.
Then Martinelli is massive, but then Trossard, depending what happens with him, because he could be in the false 9, but Havertz could be in the false 9, and then it could be a toss-up between Trossard and Martinelli's form.
Yeah. Smith Rowe's fit again now.
Obviously, you can get cheaper. I don't see how Smith Rowe plays.
No, it's just another player to get minutes.
I'm surprised he's staying, to be honest. I think he should be moving on. But anyway, Saka, is worth the extra money off for Martinelli for me. But if you need to go cheaper, you could. Odegaard's the same price, 8.5.
Yeah.
Again, he's gone up this year a fair bit, but very, very
Odegaard's
good
points last year are like one of the highest in the whole game.
Yeah, and he was someone that was in my team a lot last year as well that did help me.
Yeah, he was another one of your little.
That finish. Look on him little.
You cute little boy.
So Odegaard's in there. Right, then 7.5, I've actually gone James Maddison from Spurs. Now, I really don't know what to make of Spurs. I talked about this in my Premier League predictions, but I think he could have a massive year for them, even if Kane leaves. I actually think they should sell him, Kane, now. I definitely think Kane should leave for himself. The fact that rumours are that he's turned down 100 mil for Kane at his age, I really think, unless they don't know who to spend it on and they haven't got people lined up, which they should have, they should have been preparing for that day, even without getting someone in, Maddison, behind Son, Richarlison and Kulusevski.
Not bad.
That's a Europa League minimum attack.
Not bad.
And I think Maddison will put some numbers up as long as he stays fit. That's always been his problem.
Yeah, I like Maddison.
And then finally at 6, he's not going to start. I'll tell you my opening team in a minute. He's not going to start first game week, I don't think. But I think he could be someone that quite quickly people realise is a bargain at 6 million at Liverpool now. McAllister from Brighton. Yeah. I know a lot of people have gone with more Brighton players, but I need to see them because I think they've got potentially, if they lose Caicedo as well.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of big changes.
Yeah.
But McAllister in Liverpool could be massive. He just needs to gel. I don't know how long that's going to take, and they've got tough fixtures to start. He's actually my only Liverpool player, McAllister. But that's my midfield. What do you think?
Yeah, I like a lot of it. I think you need Brighton attacker because they play Luton opening game. Brighton, I think, without Caicedo, could struggle defensively, but they're just going to score loads of goals. They'll just lose 4-3.
That is the way they play.
So they.
But I didn't say I didn't have a Brighton attacker. I ain't got a
so you're
Brighton
going to have
midfielder.
Joel Pedro up top maybe. So the other guys is I'll be honest. Bearing in mind, McAllister was one of my little friends last year. He was great for me. And the only thing about McAllister is Savitza, is it the new guy?
Shobshalai.
I'm not sure exactly how you say his name.
Potato.
But he has been taking set pieces. He got the cross for Luis Diaz's goal 2 nights ago. He is... so McAllister last year was playing in the 10 in some games. He was on pens and free kicks and set pieces. He's now not on any of those things, and he's definitely not playing the number 10 because Gakpo's ahead of him and looks like this other, whatever you say his name is, Savitza, he is.
Sabit's a different player.
What's his name?
It's like Szoboszlai or something. I mean, I'm not saying
you
it right.
know what I mean.
He
He looks like a very good player.
Yeah, he's more of an 8. Like,
I just don't think McAllister's going to have anywhere near the roots to get points as he did last year.
So Liverpool, if they're going to keep the same style, they're not going to have a 10 of sorts, but Gakpo will be the striker, I think. So it's going to be Gakpo, Salah, and probably any number of players, but probably Jota, say. And then within that middle three, I think McAllister will be the furthest forward. So it's not a 10, but it's kind of more. Remember the pomp of Liverpool.
One of the 8s, isn't it?
It was Fabinho, Wijnaldum, and Henderson, right? That's dead now. Literally, they've all gone.
I think he's the Wijnaldum.
So, I don't think it's going to be the same. I think you're going to have, it remains to be seen. If you took their best middle three right now, for me, and there's always bias with bringing the new players in, you want to see them play. But if you went Szoboszlai or whatever, with McAllister, the third one would probably be Thiago, which would mean Szoboszlai would be the more defensive one doing the running. But then could they come in for a CDM? Is Trent going to be the CDM, like in the way that they play formationally? Does it line up that Trent comes into there? So either way, I think McAllister's going to have a license to attack.
Let me make a sales pitch for you to replace McAllister.
6 mil, I'd love to hear it.
So for just $500,000 more, right?
I haven't got it.
You could be. Well, you're going to find it because Luke Shaw, or Onana.
Heard it here first. Luke Shaw done.
So you can have Matoma, who's the most nailed of the Brighton forwards with unbelievable fixtures. You can have
City in for Matoma, by the way.
Brian Mbomo, who's going to play 90 minutes, or he's going to play 100 minutes, and he's on pens.
Yeah, and he does get numbers.
You can have Eze in a Zahala Palace, the new absolute talisman, who's going to be on pens. There's 3 options for me that are well ahead of McAllister for only $500,000 more.
Got to find the $500,000, and you think Luke Shaw.
I think you can easily, or Onana, or you change Onana down to, if you really want Luke Shaw, you change Onana down to a 4.5 million goalkeeper, and you're laughing.
We shall see. We shall see. Right, let's get to the front three. You've already guessed one of them.
Yeah, João Pedro. I mean, look, it's an interesting one. He's in my team because he enables you to do some stuff with that money, definitely. It's a real shame that Jesus and Nkunku got injured because they were both of them. I was making a decision on which of them I would go for.
You're going to go one of them?
Yeah, one of them. But the issue is that I think we're going to need a Haaland and someone around 7.5, 8 million. So the problem is, if you go 5.5 without someone else like a Watkins or somebody, then you basically have got to make 2 transfers. You've got to sell someone to get the money. So we're going to need someone around the 7.8. If you've got the money, which I think you probably have, to have Watkins and João Pedro and Haaland, then you're fine.
That's exactly what I've got.
There you go.
And the guy knows ball. He's got nothing in front of him. He's not got my team in front of him. Yeah, but you know what I mean? You've just done a lot of quick maths there, to be fair.
Yeah.
I say ball. Virtual Premier League predictions ball. Or fantasy league
Fantasy
ball.
ball.
Fantasy ball. João Pedro, 5.5. Watkins, 8. Haaland, 14.
So you're fine then, because basically what you've got to look at with your team, if you left it the same, is who's going to play. Because you're in your midfield, you're not going to want to drop any of them. They're all going to play.
Well, I'll tell you,
some of the strikers got to be dropped. So you're going to bench João Pedro against Luton.
So currently, actually, I've got Watkins on the bench because he plays Newcastle first game.
So just bring him in later.
And McAllister also on the bench. And obviously my Luton lad on the bench.
Too much cash on the bench, I think. So that means you're playing...
But you've got to plan for
So you've got 4 defenders on the pitch?
Yes. Because they've all got good home games. Estupinian home against Luton. We played Walton recently. Shaw home against Wolves. Botman home against Villa. Saliba home against Forest.
If I'm doing your team, I'll do one. If I had to insist on one change, it would be Luke Shaw to Chilwell, which saves you no money, but it's a much upgrade for me because Chelsea's fixtures get so good and Chilwell's so attacking.
I know Chilwell and I like Chilwell a lot, but do you think at any point it's going to come into the decision that they've got Cucurella sitting on the bench who they paid 60 odd million for?
I don't think Pochettino rates him. I don't think.
Well, I don't rate him based on last year either. But
I would do that. I'd consider. I like Watkins. I don't want to say take him out because I wouldn't say that. I would do Chilwell to Shaw. I would put if the only way of getting that money was to do Onana down to a Pickford or a Johnston at Palace, we've got good defensive numbers. I'd do that. Then I'd upgrade McAllister to any of those 3, and Bomo, Mitoma, or Eze.
But I still don't know if I'd start him. No, I'll take a defender out, I guess.
Yeah, you bench Chilwell first week, way to Liverpool.
We shall see.
And then I really like your team.
Is there any scope for someone making a team without Erling Haaland, in your opinion?
No.
There's just no argument
for 2 reasons. Like, he's in the Charity Shield, or Community Shield, his XG, do you know what it was 0.00. Listen,
a lot of good players get that.
He is now blanked. He's not scored in 6 Premier League games in a row. Now,
it's finished.
That is... Imagine if he'd done like what he did in the Community Shield in his last year for his first game. He'd be like, he's rubbish. You had people like Roy Jennings saying he wasn't going to score loads of goals. It never happened. However, The problem with Haaland is it's not actually about him. It's about everyone else. Is that if you don't pick him and he scores, your season's over.
We'll see. Listen, like I say, the teams are going to change between now and the actual game week kicking off. Let us know in the comments below who's in your team. If you've got any advice for me, and you can help me break that top 50,000. Let me know if you've got any advice for Seb and to help him break the top 100,000. Let him know.
That'd be lovely.
And yeah, drop a like on the video, subscribe for more. Any last words from you?
We've got a couple of mini leagues, haven't we? You do a mini league, I've got a mini league, so
we'll
we
put
can leave them links down below. Join our mini leagues.
My league, Seb's league. You can't be in the Mick McCarthy Invitational though. That is, you got to be really upper echelon.
It's invitation only.
To get in that one.
Literally.
I'm the champ. If I hadn't mentioned it, I'm the reigning champ. Cheers. Right, see you next time. Don't go changing.